Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky194 and appreciate you taking the time to visit and check out my video. And we are here at Donington Park and I am in the Porsche 911 GT3R. And I haven't done a setup guide in a while, so I've had, to kind of mix things up a little bit. I figured, why don't we see if we can make a setup for the Porsche here. So I'm just going to show the one lap that I have with the aggressive setup, and then we'll restart it and start fresh and see what we can come up with. So this is the last lap here. I mean, it's not a perfect lap by far, but it's close. And the only thing I've done is just my normal stuff, as far as tires, getting the tires at the correct pressures and things like that. I haven't done any adjustments at all. It's pretty good, but there's definitely some places I can see that it needs a little work. Not getting a drive that I would like. It needs to be a little bit better on the brakes. Especially here. I mean, it's so critical here because, I mean, this is definitely not a fast place. This is more, basically, braking zones and things like that, and you can easily go wide in a lot of the braking zones, and that'll end up losing a position because of it. I ran a little wide here, but nothing major. Now it was a 128.80, which is not bad, for me. I mean, that's an okay lap. But like I said, definitely needs to pick up. I need to be quicker than that for sure. So let's go to the garage and let's just go over the setup. I mean, again, this is just the aggressive. But of course, the tire pressures I have there should be pretty close. And you can see the only thing I did change was the camber was at negative 4.2. And that's right, I did change that to negative 4 just because it's in certain series they only have a limit of negative 4. So I don't hate to go over that because then if you go to a different setup, it might mess you up. So I just put it back to negative 4, and it went from there. But other than that, you can see everything else isn't bad. I mean, like I said, the car works decent. Electronics are about normal. I got the TC2 at 4. That's a little bit different. Of course, the brake pads are there. Had some light graining, which is a little early in my opinion. Kind of early for graining already, but okay. Of course, I have 68 liters in it. Of course, that's one reason. I mean, you look at the springs. I mean, again, the stiffer the spring, it's a double-bladed sword, because the stiffer the spring, you might have a performance gain in certain instances. But, I mean, a problem with that is, too, you're also going to have increased tire wear, and you're going to have a higher chance of graining. So, again, you're trying to find a balance of keeping performance and optimal tire wear. And when you have a spring rate that's higher, that's, and pretty much I see that with this, that's probably too high. And so this here, that's probably not too bad. But again, things that, don't look really bad, to be honest with you. See the shocks here, it's not real bad. Looks decent. Here looks pretty decent, actually. Yeah, I mean, all this looks, really good, actually. Not too far off, but we have to find some more time. And you see the front arrow variation is 1.7 to the positive. So we'll have to see what we can do about playing with that to see if it can get any better. Now, of course, I'll show you. Of course, it's got 68 liters, so if you put 10 liters, see, now we're at 0.4. So we've dropped 1.3 for the front arrow variation. That's a lot, and that's exactly what I was talking about. See, now, now it's 0.3. It was 0.4. Now it's 0.3 with only 5 liters left. So that's usually like 2 laps left, maybe, or a lap and a half, or even 6 is like that's like 2 laps on most tracks. But yeah, I mean you're down to where the car is completely balance-wise is different. So that's what makes the Porsche unique and makes it a challenge a lot of times. But we have got this all squared away here. So let's reset this. And I'm just showing you how I do things. Basically, with all my setups, I will do that. Basically, get the tire temps, tire pressures, I should say, where I want them, where they need to be, and that's about it. And then I basically get out of it. And then just go right back in. And that's just to get back, since it takes a little while, so the temperatures aren't going crazy. See, the temperatures are usually right around between 24, 27, 28, something like that. I try to keep them close to that to try to keep things on an even keel instead of it getting, comparing things that are apples to oranges. So let's load the setup. So here we go. Actually, the thing we want to, where do we want to start first? I mean, again, you can start either direction. The tires are already, pretty much close, so they're there. I like starting with the aero first, trying to get this to the optimum, and then going from there. Shocks are usually last, and mechanical grip. Obviously, there's probably some there because you have this here. With these springs and things like that, and there's some things that I see more off here than I do anywhere else. Fuel, of course, I'll put these to number 1 brake pad right away, so that's no big deal. I just put it up to 70. Electronics I usually do right away too, also, because it's just no big deal. I'm gonna knock this back to 3. That way you got the same electronics for the whole, the whole time. Again, tires, all these settings here don't look that bad. I mean, a little bit of adjustments I can see, but nothing major. The aero, same here. The aero looks, again, I'm probably going to play with this a little bit, but for the most part, it's pretty close. So I'm going to do something a little different this time. Let's start with the mechanical grip, because this looks like it's the most out that I can tell compared to anything else. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start from the top and go down, and we're just going to do one section at a time and then try it and then come back and see what we got. The roll bar, or any roll bar in the front here, you got 6 to the max. It was set on 2. I'm going to go ahead and try 4. That might be a little bit too stiff, but I don't want to go any higher than that for sure. Brake bias, it's at 55. That's not too bad, actually. But we're going to try 54. See if I can get some more brake action going on. And then, of course, steering ratio is turned all the way down. And then the springs. Springs, I'm definitely going to go 1 click. 1 click down. We'll try that and see how that works. And the bump stop rate and bump stop range are definitely not too bad, so I will leave that the way it is. And then on the springs on the rear, I'm going to bring those down 1 click, so we're going to have them down, and then I'm actually going to raise these up and close up the bump stop range basically in half, cut it in half, and that's just so the car has less movement. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get it to where the car stays not fixed, but just has less movement. So the rotation of the car is not pitching on any one corner as much. So basically, and of course, I wanted to stiffen it up because I just basically lightened it up by the springs. So, I mean, I might have to do this too. I might have to stiffen this up here, but for right now, I'm just going to try it the way it is, and that way it also goes better over bumps. But here, let's stiffen up the rear end, so I don't want the like I say, it pitching on the right or left rear corners. And then lastly, we'll go down here to the anti-roll bar, and basically, I'm going to go up 2 on that one also. And the diff preload on the diff, I'm going to leave alone for now. We'll try it as all these other things and see how it goes. So this is how we'll try it. And the main thing I'm trying to find out, one is, do we improve the brakes doing this? Will the brake performance improve? Second, will the tire wear be a little better as far as graining and things, and still get better feel and all those kinds of things? So that's the things I'm trying to see on this. And of course, aero, we can make adjustments also to get the corner speed and things like that. But this is the initial setup of it. So let's try this out.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Here. Make sure my stuff is centered. Alright, that's better. Pretty bad hole or bump right over there. Might even close up the brake ducts. This is pretty cool, so I see the brakes are getting pretty cool. We'll see if they warm up as make a few laps. Kind of, going this off the cuff, just trying to get a good setup for it for here. I was just thinking I haven't done one of these in a while. I had a video. Seems like it's rotating more, rotating a little better.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
Yeah, it was a little faster. Oh, shoot, missed the shift. Too deep. Tires look pretty good. We have a better lap this time. Ah. I'm gonna decide if I should go through there in second or third. I might try second just to see what it does. I'd like to carry third through there, but it's almost like it's just not enough. You can't get enough corner speed to get through there to do it. Yeah, it's too deep. I just don't like the rear end. I don't know if it's the balance of the car or the diff. That's what we're gonna have to figure out, because the rear end just doesn't, it's not rotating the way I want it to. I get a few laps to see if the front's graining again. Little understeer there. Goodness, way too deep. That corner is an odd shape. Definitely gonna have to work on that one. Now let's make one more lap, see what we can do. see, like right there. I don't like that. I gained a little time through there. Now it's in second.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest
All
time.
right. Tires look good. They're close anyway. I picked up a few tenths, and it didn't really even do much. So let's take a look. Ah, look at that. Look at the tires. Everything's fine. Looks good. Yeah, that's about normal. Since I'm really using the rear brakes a lot, you're seeing the rear is wearing a little faster than the front. So I can understand that. We'll see how that goes. But, I mean, everything else looks pretty good. As far as the temperature differences from inner to outer, you're only looking at 5 degrees, 5 degrees, 5 degrees, and 6 degrees. So, actually, you know, and that's maxed out as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to really go any more than -4. Like I said, for the just reasons of that way you can use it. If 2020, let's say 2020, even in multiplayer, you're only allowed to go to -4. I mean, that way it doesn't mess up the setup. You just have to go around, work around things another way. So that's good, especially starting out with 70 liters. I mean, it's a good start. I mean, anyway, so let's go to the next tire set. So this is pretty roughed in. The only thing I'm still not feeling is this here, which I think I'm going to cut the preload on the diff just down one. It just seems like sometimes going through the turns, it's wanting to lock up quicker, too soon, and not letting the car get through the turn, and it's messing it up. So let's just try that and see how that works. So we'll do it there. Everything else doesn't seem too bad. So let's go back here to aero. I'm gonna go ahead and close these brake ducts one notch, which is probably going to get the tires even hotter. So I'm just going to go down just one, because they're probably going to run hotter. Might still be too hot. The pressures might be still too high, but we'll do that. You can see it's got a lot of rear wing in it. I mean, it's at 9. That's a lot of rear wing. So where can we pick it up here? Where can we go? Well, basically, I would cut this down here. So now it's only 1.4 front aero variation. And of course, what we're needing, you can either take one out of the wing, and that would knock it all the way up to 2.3. Definitely get it to rotate quicker. And of course, you could keep going down if you want to, but what this does, and I'm gonna try. Hopefully, I explain it. I'm trying to go slow so everybody can get the gist of what I'm saying. I'm trying to communicate, but basically, the ride height, front and rear, is all determines the balance of the car. So basically, the big difference is obviously the lower you have the front, the better it's going to grip. The better you're going to get the front end to grip. But the negative of that is, you can hit stuff. You can hit sausages, you can hit holes easier, it upsets the car more, or you get too much on the front and basically it over rotates. That's the negative. The same with the rear. You know, if the rear is too low in the back, you can hit stuff that upsets the car. I've seen plenty of guys, me myself included, that you hit something and you wreck because of it. So again, you got to have enough clearance, but also when you raise the rear, it puts weight on the front. So, but of course, when you go down one on this, okay, this for an example, let's this 2.3 front aero variation, right? So one click down, and now we're at 3 to the positive. So it jumped just from one click of this. It jumped from 2.3 to 3. So this is like 2 or 3 of this. So anytime you make a click on the front, down or up, it's going to drastically change this. Okay, with the rear here, it's not going to do it as much. So basically, let's do the same thing. We're going to put more weight on the front. So we're going to put the ride height higher in the rear. So I'm going to go up one click. See, it just went up 0.1. That's it. So again, this is like many clicks of this to equal one click of this. So, you got to balance the two. Also, this track isn't real high speed, so you don't have to worry about too much of the aerodynamics as far as having the front end way up in the air or something like that. But still, I know with the Porsche, it definitely makes a difference because, again, like we talked about with the weight distribution, you definitely are at advantage if you can keep it down in the front. But you don't want to sacrifice hitting things and all that. So you don't want to go up like crazy, but you got to find a balance to where you're just clearing stuff. And of course, this was going to raise when this goes, because like I said, the fuel's in the front on my pros and cons video. The fuel's in the front. So when this goes down, so you got 2.4 right now. So when you only got 10 liters. Now you're down to 1.0. And that's all on the front here. Now, see what it did? It went all up to 58. So that's where all your changes is because the front end's going to lift up. So if you already have it lifted up, and even if you compensate with the rear wing and ride height, well, what's going to happen is this is going to go up even higher once your fuel load comes off. So, again, you want this as low as you can without bottoming out, without upsetting the car. So when it does come up, when you're running lower on fuel, it's the least you can. The least it'll go up. So, again, so it was 58. See, now it's set at 56. And like I said, one click of this is a lot of clicks of this. So that's why I say it's so drastic with the Porsche. So basically, we took one click out of the wing, but I just don't think it's worth it anyway because basically, it's just not worth it because you don't have a lot of high speed here anyway. So let's go down one click on that. So we're at 55, so we're at 2.2. So let's go one click on that and go down in the rear. So we're now at 2.1. And I will leave that alone. So we went from 1.7 to 2.1. So we went down one in here. And the reason I'm doing this here is, one, to see if we hit anything. But there's really not a lot of big sausages or anything here at Donington. It's pretty flat. I mean, there's no big sausages or big, huge curves you're going over. Everything's pretty flat. So I think you can run it on pretty much on the low side. The rear and the ride height is 72. And that's just to get the balance out. And then, of course, the lower you could run this in the back, better you are on braking because the car is balanced better. It's flatter. It's not, the rear end isn't sticking way up in the air. And, of course, the wing isn't sticking way up in the air. So, I think we're still gaining from 1.7 to 2.1. So we're still gaining some front aero variation. So we're still gaining it over the front. So it should turn better. So let's try that. And that's all we did pretty much is just one click down there and 2 clicks down here. And, of course, we changed the brake ducts. So let's try that. See if it's good or bad. I mean, it might turn too fast. You might have too much weight on the front. Ah, that was, see that bump? Yeah, that was, whoa. That's not good.
We've got some light damage on the front.
Yep, I knew I was going to hit that bump. Well, let's go back. Let's try this again. Let's see what tires I got. Let's just go back to these. I don't think it hurt any of them. Nope. Yeah, there's definitely a bump or something there. I hit that earlier when I was doing just to find out, get my tire pressures right. So you gotta be careful of that bump because it's just, man. I know it's not bottoming out there because it did it before anyway. So. Whoa. I like the way the front is turning, but it might be turning too much. We'll see how it does. It's hard to say anything on the first lap because tires aren't at the temperature, so I really don't judge anything until after I've done a few laps. Unless it's just so uncontrollable that it's just really bad. But man. Well, let's find out what happened. I think I hit the grass. Let's see what happened. Same spot. Yep. So I hit the grass, but I think some of it too is the diff. That's just too much. So between the getting the car to rotate faster and the diff now it's not locking up quick enough. So it's basically really making it just jump to the right there. So let's go back up with that. So just go one click up and let's try that out. So I'll start with new tires this time. See, this ain't different, but this is stuff that I go through trying to do with any of the setups. Of course, it's even a little bit different here because I don't have a lot of driving time here at Donington. So, I mean, you know, just did my first race with the last week with the British Championship with the Bentley. So. getting better. Well, we know that 60 is probably as low as we're going to be able to go with the diff, so that's good. Already know that. Alright, let's see what we can do now. Ow. Just barely missed that bump. Can't get it. Turn one is so odd. Hard to be really good through there. Wide through there. Tires don't look too bad. It seems like the front end's ripping better than it was. Deep in there. Oh, man. Feels pretty good. consistent. Especially for me, because I'm not the most consistent person. Oh, hit that bump again. Mess this whole lap up. The right front needs a little bit more pressure. There. Let's do this lap here and see what we got. Right side. Left side's good, but the right side's down a little bit. Not a good lap here. All right, well, it is pretty consistent so far. I mean, it's not terrible. Well, let's see what is going on with the car. See, you only got 5 degrees. That's 6 on this side. This really needs to come up at least 2. Actually, I'm going to go up 3. Just see how that goes. This up here is 6 here, temperature-wise, and this is 6. So that's not too bad. A little bit more negative camber than I like there. So basically, we've messed with this, which I still think I might try that. I bet maybe one of the things I try is to take one wing out. So you go one down, it's going to knock all the way up to 3.0. But I think it's worth it to try it. But let's move on to another category, the last one, to get it roughed in, and that's the tires. Now, of course, camber is at -4. I can't really do much with that because I don't want to go more than that, and I really don't mind it right around 5 to 7 degrees from inside to outside, and they're in there. They're 5 and 6, so that's not too bad. The caster, I usually like running the Porsche between 10 and 11, or 10 and 11 and a half. So let's go up to like 10, and of course that helps a little bit with the stability. And then here, with the camber here, let's knock this down a little bit. So we'll try that. See how that, you know, try to give us a little bit of grip coming off the corners. And as you can see, it's, you know, wearing the inside just a little bit here. See a 2.8 to 2.9. So that's not that big a deal. I mean, that would be fine actually, but it doesn't hurt to take some of that out. So that's all we need to do, because really the toe is okay on the front and the rear. The toe is decent, and of course our pressures are okay. So we'll be all right with that. And then the aero, let's just try that since we can do it both at the same time. Now we're up to 3.0. So we were 2.1. Now we're 3.0. So let's try that and see if it might over rotate, but you know, we'll try and see what happens. So you just got to try it sometimes, and sometimes it works great and sometimes it don't. So with a Porsche, I really like it to rotate as much as I can stand without it sliding or losing drive or anything like that. For the fact that it's only going to get less. I mean, as the fuel burns off, it's going to get less. So I want it to rotate as much as I can, get it to rotate without losing time. Is usually what I try to set it up at. Good. Tire need to come down a little bit now.
Well done, mate. Personal best.
All right. A little too deep.
Well done, mate. The fastest step so far.
Dang it. Pushing it really hard. I knew I had slid up because if I didn't, it was going to go to the wall. Just like we did before. Crashed a couple times. That right rear is too hot. Too hot. Pressures are up too high. And see, that's what I'm also talking about. You're always chasing it. You can see we're probably rotating the car more, so the rear tires are getting a little bit more pressure. So plus we raise the pressure, and there you go. Try one more lap. A little bit too wide. Lost some time there. So not a bad time for me. Let's take a look at. Let's take a look here and see. Basically need to knock these back down, so I guess I didn't need to add any pressure to them because they're too high now. So I'm going to go down even one more. So these are all right. Go up one. Nope, no graining or anything. No graining, no blistering, no nothing. Where the aggressive setup running slower, and I was, you saw where I showed it to you. It was graining, and I didn't even do, basically the same amount of laps. 4 or 5 laps. So, I think it's so far it's pretty decent, and I actually like it here at the 3.0 front air variation. So that was actually a good move to do that with the rear wing. I like that a lot. This has still got 5 degrees from inside to outside. That's 5 degrees, so that's all right. And this is 5 degrees, and this is 5 degrees. So basically, it's 5 degrees all 4 tires. So that's really not that bad. I think it's got a little bit more grip coming off the corners since we took some of the negative camber out of the rear. And that, of course, will help with tire longevity. And so the only thing we haven't touched is the shocks. Which, of course, the shocks can really get into a lot of time because it's just you're doing so much stuff with them. And really and it's more of a fine tune. All these things here, like tires, aero, mechanical, are pretty much big jumps. But the shocks are littler jumps. The only thing I might do in the future is with this preload on a diff, it almost acted like it's not locking up fast enough now. Since we're getting to rotate faster, I mean the car is rotating quicker. It almost acts like when we had it at 50. So that's something to keep in mind. I might have to actually go up to 70 to get it to lock up because I want it to lock up coming off the corners. But the shocks, basically, I like this. This is really the opposite of what I like. Because the reason I say that is the only weight in the front obviously is the fuel. There's no engine. So, and also, you hit bumps and stuff like that. A lot of times the front end takes it really hard. So, actually, I would knock this down a couple. And of course, the fast bump, maybe go up one just for the big fast bumps. And the fast rebound, go up a few. That's the start. That'd probably be my starting point. And then here, actually, I go up one and do the same thing. And give a little bit more rebound to it to go with the bump increase. So the idea of this is to, you don't have the engine up front. So let's say you had the Lamborghini, the Ferrari, any mid-engine car. I usually try to run the front a little bit softer than the rear because I do that just for the fact of that's what you're turning with, obviously, is the front tires, and you have no weight up there. There's no weight. The weight is more in the middle of the car here. So you don't have weight up here. Not like you do the AMG or the Aston Martin, even though they're pretty much 50-50 because they're more of a front mid-engine because the engine's so far back, but they're still got some weight. Where you're looking here and the engine's, back, the engine's back here, or, the Audi or Lamborghini's, more in the middle. So I try to run just a little bit softer, and that's to get it some grip. So the front tires will grip. And also, if you hit bumps, it takes the bumps a little bit better instead of hitting them really hard, and then it upsets the car so bad that you either wreck or lose a bunch of time. And then I'd rather have it a little stiffer back here because that's where you have the weight of the car, is more towards the rear of the car. So I'm not talking, again, a huge difference, just a teeny bit of difference. See, just basically a click or two. It's usually just a click or two. Nothing dramatic. So, and that's just to start with. And then from there, I can go from there. But, I mean, that gives me kind of a ballpark spot for me to do it, to start from. So let's check. Let's see with the tires. Yep. Okay, so let's make a few laps. I just did that, and let's see how it works. Basically change the dampers with the shocks. Call it shocks here in the US. Shock absorbers. Like going over that bump right there. We're going through the bump, the chicane up here. Definitely like it through there a lot better on the front. It turns a lot better in that last corner. Dang it. Blew that lap. Well, let's see if we can do another lap. Probably didn't even feel that one. See if we can get a decent lap here. Wide there. that bump right there. You got to really be careful. All right. Sliding a little bit. One more. Still staying right around the same times. Not bad. I mean, I'm sure there's room for improvement. But it's staying right there in the low 28s, you know, 28 teens, 28 20s, 30s, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, not bad for, you know, for me. Like I said, I'm sure it can get better. Let's see, 5 degrees, 5 degrees, 5 degrees, and 5 degrees. So it's still staying all the same. I like that. Probably come down 1. And let's see. Let's look at the tires. Nope, no graining or anything. No blistering, no graining, no nothing. And the rear, again, is wearing a little more than the fronts, but it's not real bad. So I'm happy with that. I do have a lot of brake bias in it, so I mean, I'm really, you know, trying to get the maximum out of it. Everything looks good. I mean, I think it's a really good setup. Let's take a look at the last lap. I don't remember. There's a 28.16 there, but Let's see, even I had the best sector, the last sector of that last lap. That was my best of that sector. So let's just take a look and just look at the last lap. So you've done about, what, 27 laps? But it's turning way better through here and the next one. Those two real tight turns, you can really feel the front end do a lot better. I mean, things that I would like to look at, I mean, I would be tempted to knock the negative camber down to 3.9 or 3.8 and just see if that would help a teeny bit. And braking and in those tight turns, but you might lose some on the other one. So it's something you could try, but I don't. You know, again, it's just probably little gains. Definitely something you might, you know, if you're not, you know, it might help like a qualifying or something when you have a lighter fuel load on the front. Yeah, it'll slid a little bit through there. But see, I don't mind that. I don't mind the car doing that if it's controllable. The Porsche that likes to move around, and that's one thing I guess I like it, because it just begs to be pushed hard, and you know, you can just drive right through it. A lot of other cars, you try to do that, you'd be off in the grass. Yeah, I think it's good over the bumps. Again, you know, always room for improvement, but definitely it's better. Just turns really well through there. And I like to, I want to take a look at something. Right through here. Oh, let's go back to this more. Didn't go back enough. Watch mid corner. I mean, I like to get on the throttle as early as I can. So see, I'm off the throttle. I'm on it right now. See, so I'm about midway through the corner. I'm already starting to roll back on the gas, and that's what I like. And I like a car that can rotate as you're doing that. I mean, it's still rotating and turning as I'm rolling on the gas. And you really have to do that with the Porsche, because obviously you need as much straightaway speed as you can get. And, you know, it starts all on when do you get on the gas. Do you wait if you're in the middle of the corner, or do you wait to get on the gas when you're already coming off the corner, which you're going to lose mile an hour there. So you want to be able to have the car middle of the corner and you're already rolling back on the gas, so you can get the drive through, and the car is still rotating and going through the corner. And that way you can carry the speed and then carry speed all the way down that next straightaway. At least that's the goal, and that's what I try to do, because I'm that way. I like to get on the I like to get on the gas as early as I possibly can. So let's make this a setup. Of course, this is the first variation of it. Any comment or feedback would be really appreciated. I'm just going to guess at this. I think that's what it is. Anybody else, if you any feedback or comments would be great. And also, do you like this kind of format, or are you interested in other setups or setup guides like this, doing it this way or a different way, or it would really help me with some of the content, what y'all would like or not like. And but basically, I just try to go through, and I mean, I could spend hours and hours on doing this. I mean, again, there's times I spend hours and hours and hours. So it just depends on how detailed and how dialed in you want to get. And I try to get really good base setups so everybody can adjust it from there to their liking. Again, if it rotates too much for you, all I would do is add one more wing. I would just add just go to number 9. That's it. That's all you would have to do, and the car would probably be more solid in the rear, under braking, and wouldn't rotate as fast, and that's all everything else is pretty much there. But again, you know, any of your feedback or comments is greatly appreciated. And I'll put this to one. I really do thank you for your support, and thank you to all my subscribers out there. You guys are awesome, and please, anybody that can share it to help grow the channel, I really would appreciate it. And I want to say thank you, and I sure hope you give me the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And I tried to do these setups for everybody to help y'all improve and to enjoy ACC and sim racing more. And of course, it's all free. I don't charge for anything, and I just hopefully it helps. And I sure hope you continue your support of the channel, and I hope you come back and visit real soon. Y'all take care. See ya.